here's a couple of things we really have to take a hard look at. One was the last year that the Rangers were on Diamond, they were available out of those 10 million homes, it had dropped all the way down to 2 million. And so roughly 16% of the universe had opportunities to watch Ranger baseball. And that just wasn't acceptable. So I think the first thing that we realized, if we look at this distribution model, we're going to have to get games on over the air and a broader distribution just so we can prime the pump, if you will, and Ranger fans can have access on a game of the week type of concept. So that was important. And when Jim and I sat down and Angie and we put out an RFP to see what the local broadcast station market looked like, we were very pleased at all the different players that wanted to step up with that, particularly the station groups. Again, we cover 31 markets. At the end of the day, we had Tegna in there, we had Fox, we had Nexstar, Gray Television. Everybody was interested in this process. And again, the unique thing is, it'd be great if every station group had a station all across our footprint, be really easy deal to get done. That wasn't the case, so we had to work with different station entities, and those station groups had to work together to build this network. And so I think that turned out really well. So that was important that we get games distributed. So theoretically now, 100% of that Ranger television territory between rabbit ears and over the air had access to the games. Then the second part we had to figure out was, even though the cable industry and the RSN world has experienced significant cord cutting, that is still the largest source of revenue out there in the local market. So how do we still get our distribution partners to want to continue to carry the Ranger product? And you're sitting there coming from a Fox model, whereas you've got basically 5 different pro teams across the entire footprint, having discussions with distributors like DirecTV and Charter. And then you come in and say, hey guys, we're a baseball team playing primarily 6 months out of the season. What does that look like? And I think, again, we were pleasantly surprised by the interest in the distributors, particularly our 2 largest ones in the footprint, which were DirecTV and Charter. So we probably don't get this thing off the ground if we don't have those 2 entities signed up. And we were fortunate to get both of those distributors on board in roughly the equivalent distribution pattern that the old Diamond folks had. So that level of expanded basics. So that was extremely important. So we get there, and then we've still got to go out and work with other distributors in that space. And again, fortunately, we were able to get folks like Fubo and some other small operators. And again, we're not done yet. We're still having conversations with others, but I think we came out of the gate probably over almost 80% of the marketplace that we had prior under the Diamond Group. Plus, you couple the over-the-air coverage, that gave us probably even more distribution than we would have had if the Rangers had stayed with Diamond. And then the last piece of the puzzle, or that 3-legged stool, was we had to find a direct-to-consumer partner that could help us get out there. And for those fans who were cord nevers, never had cable, live on their devices, how do we get the product to those? With our model, we couldn't give it away for free and didn't think that model probably worked for us economically. We were able to come up with a strategy where we've got games on Victory Plus, and they're packaging it for the season for roughly 145 games for $120. So a value in that world, but it was never been available to them. So we were able to reach that marketplace, again, that had been frozen out of the market because there was no really direct-to-consumer option out there. So the fact that we were able to get all 3 of those things done in basically less than a year, I think is a testament to certainly the Rangers ownership vision, what Jim and Angie have been able to do, and how we've all worked together to get this out there. And so I think from a perspective of where we started to where we are, I think we couldn't probably be happier where we've ended up right now. And again, hopefully we've still got some more distribution to go, and we'll be announcing some launches here as the season goes on as well.